Going for a 4-4-2.
He didn't know what was going on in the room.
Tell us managed to refrain from swearing.
He said, if you've got a problem with me, let's sort it out in the gym.
He's exactly the same as our lot. The thing is...
Come on! Where has that come from?
Yeah.
They brought to the door. You know, look at the...
What a performance, the guys...
That was ruled off. Quite stupid things like that.
Live from Style Space at the Supporters Club. Right.
But he was getting a bit tired, I thought.
Come on! There we go! Come on!
Come on! Yeah! Go!
Good afternoon and welcome back to West Ham United. I'm Anton, joined by Luke De Gea's wallpaper. And yeah, we're back with a transfer show. There's been loads and loads and loads of updates since we've last spoke to you. We're a little bit slow on the uptake with regards to the news that Mr. Jesse Lingard has signed for West Ham. Straight over to yourself, Luke. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, hopefully the connection's good. I think it's dropping a little bit, isn't it? But yeah, I can't make sense of it. I've got to trust Moyes because I don't really know why we bought him unless it's for cover for Rice and Souček, because he's quite a versatile midfielder, isn't he? He can play attacking midfield, he can play centre midfield, he can play on the wing if he has to. He can possibly play as a false nine as well. But no, what Moyes likes to do, to turn midfielders into strikers, doesn't he? So possibly he could make him into a makeshift forward if Antonio gets injured or something, So yeah, it's interesting.
Well, listen, loads of people are in the comments. Keep your comments coming in. Let us know your thoughts on Jesse Lingard. But I suppose, look, when you think about the signing, what you said there, you're a bit unsure about it. And I've seen a lot of comments like that on social media. But I suppose the question to you would be, and probably to loads of fans, is it not in Moyes you trust?
Yeah, it has to be. We've won 6 on the bounce, and this is with not many transfers in. And a fair few transfers out, and it's been a season like no other because we've had very little injuries. We've had the opportunity to keep the same lineup more or less the whole way through. Unfortunately, Masuaku got injured at the beginning of the season himself. It just means we have to change back to a back four, and it's all going to go. But Creswell's kept up his performances and form, and we've just gone from leaps and bounds, and we've won 6 in a row. So I at the moment, I'm not complaining about anything, mate. Nothing at all. Yeah,
no, absolutely, mate. I mean, listen, there's loads of people in there, but then you've got to go back to think about when West Ham were signing players, specifically in the last couple of transfer windows, trying to break records. Well, not in the last couple of transfer windows, but under the Pellegrini regime, 45 million, 30 million, etc. But now you're starting to really see why these players weren't working and not fitting into a system at West Ham. Whereas what we've been craving for is, of course, it's nice to see the big signing coming in who's valued at whatever, etc. But if they don't fit the system and can't work with the current team, it just defeats the purpose. Now, what's refreshing to see is we're actually seeing a manager that's actually pinpointing a player and going, do you know what? You can come into this jigsaw. You can fit into this system that we're playing. And I see that a lot. Look, with all the players that we're linked to. Now, I know, and you know, and all West Ham fans know that links are just links. And I don't know how many players we've been linked to, 50 plus. But the type of player we've been linked to, you can very quickly eradicate players that you know that we're not going to go for because they don't fit the system compared to players that do fit the system. The question, and loads of people are asking it in here, is where does Lingard fit into this setup?
When we see a link, we think, video. You can put out a video for a player that we think, if he does come, he can fit into the system in a certain way. But it's like I said, I've been asked by a load of other football fans who aren't West Ham fans to go in, why are you going in for Lingard? And I'm sort of replying to them, well, I don't know actually myself, to be fair. There's a lot of things, there's a major thing that he's only got a short time left on his Man United contract. It's to impress, Solskjaer because he's not fitting in, etc. And it's going to be a chance for him to impress Gareth Southgate with the Euros coming up and everything like that. So in that sense, it does make sense. But for us particularly, the only way I can think about it is it's a way of getting cover for midfielders, giving someone a chance to prove themselves. Which, if you look at most of our signings, that's exactly why we brought them in, to help us improve and also to give them a platform to succeed themselves. And also, Moyes has worked with Lingard, as far as I know, when he was at Man United. So he must know something about the player. The thing that worries me a little bit is that there's been this whole consensus that he's sort of not really interested in his football career as such. He's more about his businesses. As you can tell when he put his story on Instagram, he had a J Lings bag ready to go, and that obviously means he's still got his company or his thing away from football. Which, fair play, every footballer's got to make money somehow, but it's not a long career, is it? It's not going to be retiring when you're 60, it's retiring when you're 35. So maybe he's got other things going on. But I did read something else, he's had a lot going on in his personal life. So maybe he's got improved things like that in behind the scenes, and he wants to just get his head down and start playing football now. But yeah.
I don't think for 1 second, though, you hit the nail on the head there. I think there's always a concern when you've got a player who does look at, say, social media as their, the way they live their life, etc. But then he did do a video a while ago explaining that there was a lot of personal issues going on in his life, and he started to really see the benefits of why you wouldn't really be so reliant on social media in his life. And, I think that's probably shown in his footballing ability. And listen, at the end of the day, Manchester United brought in Bruno Fernandes. At one point West Ham were linked to him, and he's just come in and taken to the system like no one else, mate. It's like a no-brainer. But I think when it comes to Lingard, you're talking about a player here that's played at the highest level. He's played international level. He's played over 200 appearances for Manchester United. He's got Champions League experience. He's scored goals in the Champions League. He's got Europa League experience, scored goals in Europa League. He's dropped down and lost confidence. He's worked with Moyes before. Can you see that being a match made in heaven? The deal for everyone that's watching is a £1.5 million loan fee. And West Ham are paying his full wages as well, which are expected to be anything between 75 to 100k a week.
It's funny because he was a running meme for a little while, wasn't he? That he hadn't scored a goal or made an assist in about 2 years, I think, was it? And it's kind of typical that you've still not seen anything from him really, and now he's come to us, which is brilliant. We get him. But it's funny when you mentioned Bruno Fernandes. Man United weren't on top of their game. Solskjaer brought him in. And so immediately you can just see that mentality-wise he's boosted the club. A bit like when Payet come to West Ham first time round. He's given them that boost, and they've gone strength to strength there. They're almost top of the league, or they are top of the league right now. So it does show you that it's not always short term; it's long term as well. But if Moyes has worked with him and knows something about him and thinks that he can be the person to get the best out of him, which no doubt he can do. There's no doubt about that. He's working wonders with the players he's got in the club at the moment. I think West Ham can only benefit from this. The only problem is that if he becomes a bad influence in the dressing room, I can't see him being like that. To be honest with you, he just sounds like a little kid high on sugar most of the time. He just wants to have a laugh and have fun and play games and joke around. Moyes ain't going to take you mucking around. He's going to say to you, no, you need to work hard to get in this team. So maybe, this is the perfect fit for him to come to West Ham, and, it's going to be, a club with different mentality, different ambitions. It's not going to be the pressure. Like Ian Wright said on Twitter, he's not going to have the pressure of playing for Man United now, but he has got the pressure of playing for West Ham. Now, maybe last season that wouldn't be a pressure, it's just surviving relegation. But this year, we've got ambitions now. So he's got to come into a team that's on form, that's going to be, you've got to work hard to get your place in the team. So, if he's worked with Moyes and they get on well and it's a healthy relationship, it can only benefit West Ham, really, can't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I think it comes to, you made the point there, you hit the nail on the head when it comes to Moyes. It's a little bit like he does a characteristic test. He's checking in on the players to go, do you know what, you ain't going to come in here and take the piss. You're coming to the club to work hard, and that's what we've seen with players. we'll come back on to Jesse Lingard in a minute because I want to talk through his career and what he's brought to the table. But I mean, other news coming out of the club today was the fact that Cardoso has left the club to go on loan to Basel for an 18-month loan with an option for them to buy. You can't help but feel like Moyes is just doing a full-blown clear-out of every signing that Pellegrini brought in during his tenure, isn't he?
Yeah, because Diop's been linked with Liverpool, I think, isn't he, on a loan deal or something like that. I'm a bit gutted about Cardoso. Look, I've never seen him play. I ain't gonna go. I think he's a really good player. He should have had the chance. I've never seen the guy play, not even under 23s. I haven't got a clue about him. All I know is when he turned up, he was meant to be a rising star, someone for the future. But he's come in with the exact same pedigree as that Alves has come in, and Alves is in the under 23s, and they reckon he's already looking likely to maybe have a first team appearance soon. So these players come in, they don't always work out. Possibly in Portugal, he was looking like the real deal. Barcelona's not a bad team to go to. You know, they're normally in Europe, and I know people say that, you know, other leagues don't compare to the Premier League and stuff, but Bar's always there near enough challenging for the Swiss title. So that's a good club as any for him to go to. And hopefully he comes back and he does well for West Ham. So Moyes maybe sees characteristics of players that Pellegrini's brought in, and he's trying to give players a fresh start. But look, you've got a 22-year-old Diop who's in the French youth teams, who's captaining this team, that team. Mourinho loved him when he played against Man United, but you've got Dawson keeping him out of the team, plus Balbona as well. So if he is clearing him out, fair enough. Obviously, they're not doing the job. I can't fault Moyes at the moment, so I've got to trust everything he's doing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Like you certainly can't fault what David Moyes is doing. Like you said, I mean, we are running thin on the squad, and I think adding Lingard to that equation is definitely going to be definitely worthwhile. And you know, with regards, it's relevant to bring up Cardoso because, like you said, look, he was one for the future. He was a future hope, but obviously it's just not worked out at the club. I did have a look at him, and he did play. He's actually played a little bit of time, and I can't remember the League Cup game. But I never saw a huge amount, and it wasn't enough time. But do you know, sometimes you can just make a quick judgment on a player, and you think, right, there's nothing particularly fancy there or interesting. And I think now that West Ham have got strength and depth in that position, it's just not going to let him really get an opportunity. So going abroad on loan with an option to buy means that we're probably saying goodbye to Cardoso for a while. But when it comes back to Jesse Lingard, I'm going to bring in another guest who's coming on just now. You'll be familiar with him, Jake from West Ham Unofficial. How are you, Jake?
Yeah, not too bad, and the lovely wallpaper makes a return.
He's on fire, look, isn't he?
Certainly does, mate. Certainly does.
Yeah,
he loves to play.
Jake, first and foremost, your thoughts on Lingard?
Well, I mean, we can't complain too much. It's a signing on the board, isn't it? It's on loan, but it's a signing. I don't really see it if he's not going to try and convert him back into a central midfielder or try and play him up front, because otherwise it's just another winger kind of player. But I think we need bodies, and he's a body. But I think to really round off a okay for me transfer window, we've got to get some sort of striker in, or maybe we're going to convert Lingard. Who knows?
Jake, do you think what we've been saying through this show is, do you think what you just said there is ever so slightly harsh on David Moyes? If you think about, you know, each week we do all these videos, we go through them, and each week we're probably expecting the worst thing to happen. You know, we've all been saying start Benrahma, but West Ham are sitting fifth, 4 points from top position, by Moyes doing what he wants, which is the opposite to what we're saying, and signing players, and Moyes is going, calm down, West Ham fans. And he's still, you know, at the halfway point, we're at the stage now where we've conceded 22 goals, I think it is, in 19 games at the halfway point. We're scoring goals, we're beating teams, we're grinding out results, and we've brought in a player that if you said to me 3 years ago we would have signed, I'd have said absolutely no chance.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously he hasn't played as much football in the last 2 years, but as Luke just said before, I came on, we've got to back Moyes because he's took us to fourth or fifth position, and we've got to back him. I mean, he's played with him before, so perhaps that's a plus. Perhaps, obviously, he knows how he plays. He knows how to play him, and yeah, I'm gonna back Moyes. I wasn't the hugest kind of fan of him bringing in at the start, but I mean, back Moyes, we'll see what he does, and let's hope that he gets a bit of game time, not kind of taking out any of our players that are playing great at the moment. Well, to be fair, everyone's playing great at the moment, but just kind of I'm just that body there that I'm going to kind of back, and let's hope that Moyes can get the best out of him.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to bring to the table some stats for everyone that's watching. So, yeah, well, so out of 100, he's played over 200 games over many competitions with Manchester United. But let's talk about his Manchester United Premier League career. 133 games, 18 goals, 12 assists in the Premier League. He's got... Well, then now I'm going to bring in the other stats. So in the FA Cup, he's played 23 games, scoring 6 goals, 2 assists. In the Europa League, he's got 22 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. Champions League, 16 games, no goals, 1 assist. In the League Cup, 15 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. He's also previous been an English international, where he's played 24 games with 4 goals. When he started off his career, he was loaned out to Birmingham City, played 13 times, scoring 6 goals with 3 assists. Then loaned on to Derby County with 2 goals and 2 assists. Found his way to Brighton, 17 games, 4 goals and 4 assists. But the most interesting stat that I've found on Jesse Lingard is his most effective position with stats output is as a left winger. In 103 games, he scored 24 goals with 29 assists. So, for his age being, 20? Is he 28 now? I think we've got him at 28. He's still young, he's still got time. Moyes is, I mean, if he can bring in the effectiveness of what he's got, you've got to start looking at the situation where you've got Bowen, you've got Lingard, you've got Fornals, you've got Lanzini, you've got Benrahma, and you put those 5 on a bit of paper and you think, God, the amount of games we've got to play. Look, I know you said there about West Ham not being very fortunate with the injuries, and we have been. Touch a lot of wood. Please touch wood as we're talking right now, because we want. But the situation is that we're probably going to need strength and depth, and we might actually see him. He's played all 5 positions in the front. He's played left wing, right wing, central midfield, false 9, and 9 if he's needed to, and that gives us another option. So for me, I'm happy. I think it's a good signing. Jake, yeah, I do agree with you, mate. I think I would like to see West Ham bring in another striker. But also on top of that, I am concerned about us not bringing in a player who can potentially cover the likes of Souček or Mark Noble, Declan Rice.
Yeah, definitely, and we need that kind of strength there. And as we keep saying, if we could have brought these players in, we could be kind of staying where we are. 6th could be the kind of position, and I think that should have happened. Well, we could all tell looking at us that we needed a left back, a central midfielder, and a striker. We've brought Lingard in, happy days, but I'm still thinking that we need one more for me, I think. But yeah, positive. Lingard coming in, very happy about it, and let's hope that he kind of continues. Well, not continues. He starts a run, and as Lingard keeps saying, a new chapter in his career, and hopefully a good one.
Yep, absolutely. There's loads of comments coming in here. Darcy's, go for it, Luke.
And I was just going to say, I didn't realise he'd been in that many loan clubs. I didn't realise he'd been on loan that many times. And the annoying thing is that for some people is that he hasn't aged since he went to Birmingham. He still looks the same 21-year-old boy. So he's played enough here, and he's played for England and stuff like that. I just I look at him. He's not aged at all, has he, since then. I mean, fair play to him. He's got young blood, but he needs a beard. I think maybe he could get. Look, he got little. He's tried to grow one there. Fair play to him, but he's he's just a young gun, isn't he? Just an eternal young gun. But yeah, if he's left wing, then it's more competition for Benrahma, and possibly even Masuaku when he comes back from injury. But he's going to slot right in. But I don't think it's funny, Jack. You saying there, it's a sign in. There's hope for more. I can't see us buying anyone else. That's for me. I can't. For me, that's them trying to get someone. Or Moyes trying to look. I've got nothing here. I've got to get someone alone. Lingard's available. Worked with him before. I can't see us getting anyone in. I can't see the board sanctioning another one in. I think if we were going to get people in, we'd have probably brought Lingard in on permanent. But I can't see us getting anyone. I hope we do in a way. If Moyes needs more recruits, then fair play. If he gets what he needs, but I don't think we'll get anyone else in. That's all personally.
But let's hope.
Another thing I want to talk about with. All right, go for it, Jake. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's hope that obviously we all want a striker. Let's hope that there's someone that's close that kind of the media hasn't put out, our sources, like, all of these places haven't said. But yeah, it would be lovely. But as Luke said, can't see it happening. I mean, the closest we've got has been Diop and Hwang Hee-chan, and they look like they've both fallen through. So yeah, it's disappointing, but yeah, let's hope we can deal with it and we don't have a calamity of injuries.
I think when you
Josh King is not coming.
Well, I'll come on to him. I'll come on to him in a minute. But when you think of Jesse Lingard, what he'll bring to West Ham, if you think back to his good times when he was playing well, performing well, he presses the ball quite possibly more than any other player when he in that Manchester United team. All you even need to do, when he was playing on form, I'm talking, I think it was back to the 17-18 season. I think he got 13 goals, 7 assists across all competition, and then obviously it was the couple of seasons after that where he produced no goals and 0 assists, etc. But when you watched him play, because I remember, listen, it was coming up to such an interesting time for England. There was a lot of younger players for England coming through the ranks. Lingard was offering something during that time. He can score from distance. He's extremely creative. He's extremely skillful, but he can penetrate not just a pass, but he can actually penetrate a defence with him holding onto the ball. The one interesting thing I really liked about him, though, is his ability to press, because he's so fast and he's fit. He's really fit as well, so he always puts pressure on the defence. That's something I'm seeing West Ham do more than I've ever saw us do growing up. Even like watching West Ham, we are pressing the defenders as much and more as we can. And what's good about that is it's allowing us to, if we lose possession of the ball, we've got a larger distance between the opposition getting to our goal than what we were doing before by sitting deep. So Jesse Lingard can also offer us that, and we know Moyes is all about players working hard, 100%. But all in all, look, are you happy with the Lingard signing?
Yeah, I'm actually since this happened, I've actually become more excited about it. I've made the mistake of watching Twitter compilations and YouTube compilations, and his goals. His goals are really well taken. To be fair, I'll give that to him. But his celebrations are awful. They are cringeworthy. But my brother can't stand it. The brother, honestly, he's the only player made us. I hope Lingard never comes to West Ham, just for the fact he's just so cringeworthy. And I get it, I do get it. But if he scores the goals for us, he can celebrate how he likes. I don't care. But the more it goes on, the more the positives coming out about him, rather than any negatives to go with it. Possibly being away from a club like Man United could give him the chance to, a bit more freedom and improve himself as a person, not just as a person, but as a player, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm more excited about it. Bring it on now.
Yeah,
I'm up for it.
Absolutely. Jake, same question to you. You happy with the Lingard signing?
Yeah, well, as I said at the start, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I'm happy. Let's hope that we can have a successful kind of till the end of the season loan, and let's hope that he kind of hits the standards that he had when he was on form, when he was in the England squad, when he was playing well, and in the Man United squad regularly. But yeah, let's just hope that we see that side of him and not kind of the other side that hasn't been getting in any sort of side in the last year or so. So yeah, excited to see what he can do, and let's hope that he can do something positive.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at some of the comments and then we'll jump on to the next player. Darcy Williams is saying hi. James Bong is saying love these shows. Thank you very much for tuning in. Marcus Lieb is saying afternoon guys. Hope you're well, Marcus. Thank you again. Pete Chapman is also saying afternoon all. Hope you're well, Pete. And Neil, thanks again for tuning in. Marcus Lee, could you possibly see Lingard coming to us on a permanent deal at the end of the season, even though it's not in the contract? If he performs well and things keep progressing for West Ham, the answer to that question for me is yes, because I don't see a future at him at Manchester United. So if he comes in and performs potentially like what Souček performed like, I think the difference was we had an option to buy. So I think Man United are keeping the cards close to their chest, really, by not giving us option to buy. But even if you don't have an option to buy, if in the summer they want to sell, they'll sell him. He's only got a year left in his contract come the summer as well.
Yeah, I think the way United were talking was that they want him back. The Solskjaer is using it as a test for him to say, I want you to prove to me that you can do it in another club, and if you can do it there, then you can possibly do it at Man United. So there seems to be a lot of, I think especially from Lingard's point of view, is that like I've still got a future at Man United. I just want to have a break and try something else at a different club, which is fair enough. But I can see Man United taking him back. But he's got to have a successful spell here. It's all down to what he does here. There's no point in saying it now. It's got to be done at the end of the summer. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I'm not throwing it yet.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see what Lee's saying. Hi all, great result at Everton today. Come on, you Irons, London is claret and blue. Absolutely, yeah.
Pride of London.
Results,
Pride of London.
Lots of results have gone right. Newcastle have done West Ham a favour today. Lee, they certainly have, mate. Words and Pictures is saying hey to Anton and David. I think that was before Jake jumped on. Oh, there you are, Jake. Look, you're typing and you're on here as well.
Loves it.
What is this? The wallpaper makes a grand return. That, Jake, that was it. Good man, like it. Pete Chapman says, haha, it comes to something when you're looking at results to keep us in the top 5. It's a strange feeling. Absolutely, mate. You're absolutely nailing the head there. Gary Page is saying, we have a togetherness that Leicester had the year they won the league. We can believe. Do you know what? But do you know what? No, look, because I said recently in one of the videos that we did, if you think back to the season when Leicester won the league, every single week I was expecting them to lose or drop points. And every single week I was saying, God, no one's injured, but surely there'll come a point where they get an injury. And every single week I was expecting Leicester to drop down that league. But come December, we're finding ourselves in an extremely similar position. But I am not going to get carried away, because I'm not. Because it's, let's be real, guys. We have a thin squad. We're definitely punching. But Moyes has transferred things.
It's a bit different. It's a bit different in
Why?
the fact that they were at the top from the start. They didn't come down. They were at the top from the very, very start, and they never come down. Now we've gone up to down, up, down, and we've won the games we didn't think we'd win. Now we're on that run consecutively, but they were on that run from the very start. So we can't do it. I'm not saying we can't qualify for Europe. I'm not saying a title. I'm joking.
I know. I get it.
I'm not saying title. I'm saying top 4.
I'm not saying title either. Yeah.
They had also Vardy and Mahrez were on form constantly. So Antonio is on form.
Here's the but to what you're saying, though.
Haller came in and stuff like that.
Here's the but to what you're saying, though. They survived relegation the season before.
And the season after.
Yeah, I know. No, yeah, I agree. I'm
just
not
saying.
saying that.
Hashtag.
I'm just saying.
Hashtag just saying. Tony is saying, I trust Moyes. It's a shrewd signing. It's a versatile, experienced, hard-working player who is hungry to play. He works hard off the ball too. Yeah, I there you go, Tony. That's what I just said. He's extremely good at pressing, and he is a hard worker. And I think that's what we're seeing now. Moyes wants that in the side. Lee Vassallo is saying, "Ooh, West Ham, we love you." What's this here, Pete? Hi, Jake. Your show made me laugh. Everyone digging at each other, and you were hiding behind the mic laughing. Right, remind us what happened there, Jake.
Well, we just had a Spurs and a Arsenal fan on, and they were just firing shots at each other. And there was me and a Liverpool fan there, just sitting there and just let it go. Yeah, it was quality.
Yeah. Vinay is saying, rumour is Liverpool want Diop, maybe a swap in the future. Well, you'll actually notice if you check back in West Ham United's videos from I think about a month ago, we told about some news that Liverpool were interested in Diop. And I think some of the mainstream media picked up on it, but there's no ifs or buts about it. Liverpool have got injury problems and are looking for a defender. What's his chops? Klopp has stated that he is in the market for a defender, but there's no defender out there that could be valued at to bring in that they could afford to buy. But the only one that is realistically linked and could be affordable is Diop. And I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to tempt West Ham, but according to sources close to the club, nobody is for sale. So
yeah, Diop on a swap deal for Origi would be the only way I'd go about it.
Yeah.
Origi's a really good player for Liverpool. He just doesn't get a team because Mane's ahead of him. Mane's obviously a better player overall, but he always seems to score when he plays for Liverpool, when he comes on the sub and whatever. So I'll take him. I wouldn't want to leave Diop. I wouldn't want to lose Diop. I think Diop's a good player. I just need a bit of confidence and whatever. But yeah.
Any option to buy for the Lingard deal is no. No, there is no option to buy for him just now. For the amount of monies, he's definitely starting every week. I don't agree with that.
I was wondering that.
I don't agree with that though, mate. I don't think he will. I genuinely do not believe for any second that Moyes will, just because you're getting paid that money, if you don't perform well, you ain't starting. Like, end of. Like, don't believe. That's a kind of, in my opinion, that's a year ago West Ham. A year ago West Ham, not a right now.
If you're starting him, right? I lost the people in the comments as well. If you're starting him, who do you take out?
You can't take Fornals out.
The only person I would say that would have that is Bowen. The only person I'd say who was acceptable to being taken off is Bowen. That's the only player I can think of.
The only but I'll say to this again is the fact that Moyes is very clever per game. So, you know, even though he's got a history of playing players and player, you know, teams winning sides for the next game, he also knows when to rest a specific player and bring on a creative player. Now, we're starting to see that transition of West Ham. We're not, like, when I think back to the first Crystal Palace game, when we started the game, we definitely needed ball-carrying players. When he brought Lanzini on at half-time, that's what transformed the game. But now he's starting to get the creative side out of Fornals. We're starting to see that he can work hard and be creative. But we have games coming thick and fast. There is no ifs or buts about it. Something is going to force one of these players not to be able to play, whether they pick up another yellow card or someone gets sent off, and that's where we need the strength and depth, and that's why I do think there's going to be some rotation. And I think if you've got a quality player in the ranks who work hard under Moyes in Lingard, he can offer us equal to what we've got, and it's literally like for like, and it won't have a negative effect. I'm trying to be quite positive about it, you know.
Well, it's bound to happen. It's bound to happen because the kind of games twice a week kind of usually in a normal season end in January, but they just keep on coming until the end of the season. I was looking at the kind of fixtures and they are still coming 2 times a week: Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday. They just keep on coming and they're not going to stop. So it's good to have Lingard there just to know as a backup, you know, that we've got someone there.
Yeah. But also, though, if he gets into the side, you want him to keep players out of the team. That's the thing. That's what we want to do. And he's going to, you know, he's coming to West Ham to prove a point. And that's maybe a good position for West Ham to be in. A player come to the club to prove a point under a manager who will make you prove the point. You know, that's it. Marcus Lieb is saying, if Diop goes, should Dawson become permanent? In my opinion, I'm going to say the following comment. Watch this space before the end of this transfer window. It stops, is it Tuesday? Monday?
Monday the 1st, isn't it?
Monday the 1st at 5 o'clock, I think it is. All I'm saying is watch this space. So we've got our 2 domestic loans in, but Dawson, if he is made to be permanent, is about £3 million. Watch this space. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Something is brewing, in my opinion.
Say nothing.
But before we go into more comments, let's talk about the next man, the man we signed permanently, which was, you know, it was the worst kept secret, because it's not a secret because we had an obligation to buy. Benrahma has officially signed for the club. Talk to me about it, Jake. You love him a bit, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Benrahma, what a man. I mean, and he is, in the last few games, he's coming to kind of, he's getting there, and I think one goal. He is trying too much, but it's a fantastic signing just to get that done, and then to bring another player in. It's good business for me. I thought. I think Benrahma he is going to be a very good player. He's got He'll get a goal. He'll get the confidence going. He'll get linking with Fornals, with Bowen, and yeah, there's more to come from that man, definitely.
Absolutely, and as we know, guys, there was an obligation for West Ham to buy him in the summer, and we, I think, agreed a deal which was going to be instalments over the next 4 years. So in order to make the Benrahma deal to move him into a permanent transfer, to allow Lingard to come in, is no financial implication to West Ham. It was just a matter of signing the paperwork and bringing it forward. The reason why the club initially were never not taking one on permanent was because something came through in his testing when he joined the club related to blood tests. So I don't know if something came up as a warning and they took the option, and I think if that had spiralled out of control, there may have been a get-out clause for West Ham, but it seems to be that they've been happy and everything's been secured, and now he's been brought in as a permanent. But it's a good move for me. Luke, you happy with Benrahma?
Yeah. I think we're going to make him permanent anyway. I just think it's a good time to do it now. We're bringing loans in. He's been a great player. He's obviously not been like the best player, but he's certainly got something. Like his skills when he dribbles past players. I mean, I think our last game against Palace, I just started clapping him at one point because he was just making them look stupid. But he's a good player. He's got bundles of potential. He just needs to start scoring more goals. But he'll get that. It's all about goals. He likes assists and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good deal to make permanent. Yeah.
Absolutely. Vinay is saying I think Moyes will convert him into a striker to cover for Antonio. He's talking about Lingard there. And I think there's, and potentially with Yarmolenko, who's coming off the bench and turning up on the day as well. Neil T is saying I think Lingard offers more than what Haller did. I feel, Haller, we have to move on from it, right? And I'm going to move on from it. But he just won't fit our system. I'm
going to say one thing. Right? I had an accumulator the other night, and I hadn't scored any time in Ajax's game, in the league game. He could not have put in more effort for Ajax. He was the main reason why it was like 1-1 till like the 80th minute, and he started midway through the pitch at the centre circle. He was winning balls. He was chugging off defenders. He was forcing the ball over the line. And when the player that did score, there's 2 late goals. He'd run next and go, I've missed that shot. That's really gutted. He looks a completely different player at Ajax. I'm not saying he wasn't ever going to be like that, but you just look at him going, why could you not have shown that West Ham? Why could you not have shown a bit of that West Ham? But,
absolutely. Mark Alexander saying I think Lingard will play left wing mainly in cover for for midfield and right wing. Antonio is a striker with Yarmo cover until the summer. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I think there's something brewing. I really do. Tony Pizzolosi is saying the difference between Lingard and Fornals pressing is that Fornals is so slow that his pressing is not effective, so it's pointless most of the time. I think that's a little bit harsh on Fornals. I think he's I think his all-round game, to be honest. I think what we're starting to see, and I know I'm repeating it, is his creativity is really starting to shine out again. Listen, when we think back to when we signed Fornals, and you look at all the videos and you've seen his creativity when he was at Spanish under-21s, he was doing whatever you wanted to do in the park, and then bang, we suddenly seen he came into the West Ham setup, and Moyes has transformed him into a hard-working midfielder, but now his creative side's coming out. Benrahma's enjoying playing alongside him, and it seems to be working. So Lawrence Salmon, will Lingard track back and help defending as well? I think Lingard, I think he will, mate. I think you've got a player here who's fit, who can run all over the park for 90 minutes. Yeah, and Jake, I know he's not played for a while, but he is fit, mate, and he can track back. He can press as much as you can. But then you've got to think of a player like that and think, where do you want him to be? Do you want him to, be up and down? If you can break and you've got Lingard as a forward man, many defences will struggle with that.
Yeah.
Ian Smith is saying Moyes loves to press. I've even seen him in a video working with a local schoolboys team, and the first lesson is how to... Ian Smith, I've spoken about this video. I've watched the video. If you ever get a chance, go onto YouTube and click in David Moyes. I think he's working with like schoolboy football teams or whatever it is, or youth level footballers, and it's so drilled into the players and drilled into the team about pressing and building from the back as well. So what he's doing is he's actually training everyone at the same time, and he's given them so much work to do. But that's why you see Fabianski collect the ball and pass it immediately to a defender to play out from the back. But he's challenging all the players to press all the time. It's a really cool, interesting video, and they've got a mic on David Moyes as well when he's talking. So Tony's saying Lingard has a seriously ill mother, so I can't see him moving to London full time. Didn't know that. I didn't know if that's what's related to his.
Yeah, I heard that.
He's not making the. He's also not been registered in time for the Liverpool game, so he won't be playing for the Liverpool game. Loads and loads of comments coming in though. Jesse, me, bling bling, diamond studs, hip hop, take a selfie, dance like a routine Lingard, awesome. Wow.
Roger Core, it names it all. Roger Core.
Click Torres, 1.5 million fee plus wages. That's the Lingard deal for 18 games if he plays all of them. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Fair enough.
But listen, we could go on here. All in all, Neil from Down Under, hope you're well, mate. We're happy. We're happy with Lingard. We are.
Yeah.
We've discussed it. We're happy. We're happy with Benrahma. Cardoso has gone out of the club with a couple of days to go for the transfer window. Look, you're not so confident that we're going to bring in another player, are you?
No, not at all.
Jake,
it's going to be loans anyway, so it's the most we can get.
Jake.
Oh no. I don't think no one else is coming in. As all as we'd all like them to come in. No, I can't see it happening.
Come on,
unless
Jake,
we've got
be positive. Come on, be positive.
All right. Just for that wallpaper, we're gonna join us.
Yes.
That's it. Come on.
We're gonna sign a
Viva la
striker.
wallpaper.
Deadline day drama. 11 o'clock. By 11 o'clock on the 1st of February, we will have a striker.
Love it. That's what we like to hear, mate. That's what we like to hear.
Don't get
I
fed.
genuinely,
Don't get fed.
you listen to Moyes' statements, and he downplays signing players.
Yeah.
And that's smoke and mirrors. I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors there. There's no ifs or buts about it. If he can bring in a player, he does like, and we know as one of his number one targets was Josh King. We know Bournemouth are going to push the club and all clubs for more money. We know no club is going to pay that money. It's going to force them their hand into a situation which is, will they take a cheeky offer? Because if they don't take a cheeky offer on the last day of the transfer window, they're losing the player with no money coming in for him come the summer. He goes in a free. So there's a few options there. All I'm saying is watch this space. Watch this space. We might
Can I
do
just
another
say,
video.
Anton?
Yeah.
Anton, can I just say, don't look at the comments. Don't look at the comments.
Oh no. Who is it? Where is it? What am I looking at? What part?
Down the second comment and from the bottom.
What is this? Lingard can dance like Jake. Ask him to show you. Come on then. Is this dancing move thing that everyone does?
There's not a chance you'll
Right,
get
hold on
me
a
to do
second.
that.
There we go. Come on.
Oh,
Right up there.
That's it. I'm going. I'm off.
So listen, that really rounds up our transfer show. It was a live one. It was something a bit different. I know we do a lot more statistics, but it was more like a welcoming him to the club. For me, good signing. I'm happy. Benrahma, Lingard in, West Ham squad growing. Hopefully we can bring in another player or two, but I don't think it will be happening, but maybe one. I'll take that. Join us tonight for our live preview. We are previewing the Liverpool game. We've got a Liverpool fan coming on. We'll be going out live at 8:30, so make sure you join us tonight for that. Jake, what have you got going on?
Tomorrow preview with you, Anton, is that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I've got a show tonight as well, 6 o'clock, trying to raise a bit of money for young Isla for trying to fundraise some money for her as well.
Cool.
So yeah, look out for that.
Good boy.
Brilliant.
Good man, bro.
There's a cool comment in here. Mike Hayford, one of the original guys from West Ham Irons United. Hope you're well, Mike. Good to see you, and hopefully we'll be in touch. Hope the family are well as well. So yeah, loads of people are in there. Thank you very much for watching, and we will be back tonight at 8:30. And yeah, come on, you Irons.
Irons.